Hey guys, it's John, and welcome back to my playthrough of The Forgotten City. This is possibly the last video. We'll see if we can get at least one more ending, preferably a good one, because we got a bad ending in the last video. I don't know if we're going to get all three of the other endings, but we'll at least try to get one more. Now, what I'm going to do now is go back into the lower cistern here. I'm going to get up to the upper cistern. Excuse me. And we're going to wait, is this not golden anymore? Oh. And yeah, we're gonna go free Sentilla, I think. Oh yeah, because I started. Did I start a new loop or? Oh no. Anyway. There we go, and here we are. All right, let's free her. See what happens. I'm back.
Have you come to let me go this time?
Yeah. Okay. What if we round up everyone so they're ready to escape once the golden rule is broken?
There's no time. Wait, did you hear that? He's here. Quick, you have to let me go. It's now or never.
What do you mean he's here? All right, let's go.
Thank you. Now follow. Wait, did you hear that? He's here. He must be coming in through the door behind me. You distract him. Stay right here and keep him talking while I look for something I can use.
Okay. Huh. Interesting. So that's why he kept Dooley locked up.
What did you do with Sentilla? Where is she?
You're human garbage, you know that?
So that is how it's going to be. Oh well, this doesn't change anything for me. It's a shame, really. If you'd just done what you were supposed to, you'd have been looping through time forever until you gave up and killed yourself. Just like that soft-hearted pleb, Al.
Wait, what?
Come now. Surely you didn't think...
Right,
you see,
okay,
Mike,
yeah.
But I'm surprised you hadn't... He was a moralist, and because of that fatal flaw, I watched him come through the... And when he... The next
So this
time
is the
I
same
awoke,
thing that
I
we
would
heard
have
him
just
say
been
in the...
Not a lot compared with Al, but I've seized every day, nonetheless.
I've only looped 8 times.
In any case, there's no escape for you except the path that Al took, the path he wrote about on Better
Okay, yeah.
So, you discovered my secret. So what?
Oh.
What are you going to do about it?
Oh. She asked me who was going to figure out... She asked me to figure out who was going to break the golden rule, knowing I would fail every time. You knew there was a way out, and even locked up your own daughter to keep it a secret. Why? Let's ask about the golden rule.
Of course. There's no way you could have succeeded. Every soul who has ever found themselves here has broken the golden rule eventually. It is inevitable. Man will always sin sooner or later. Any idiot could tell you this. But where others might see tragedy, I saw opportunity. As I told you the first time we met, I found a way to cheat death. By reliving the same day over and over again forever. And I will continue living long after your dust.
Why did you do this?
Why? Isn't it obvious?
Oh yeah, you talked about this in the last video.
I have found a way to prolong my life indefinitely. To cheat death. I have become, in effect, as immortal as the gods. Can you honestly say you would not wish the same for yourself?
Let's see you cheat your way out of this.
Do you really think you can take on a Decurion with that flimsy little bow?
It's a golden bow. How do you not know about the golden bow? I probably could, but I'm going to let her have this one.
Who? Sentilla? Where is she?
I'm right here, Father.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Okay,
Come
do
on,
it.
We have to go.
Yeah.
What's happening to you? That light, it's so bright.
Wait, okay. Oh. So we talked to Al here.
Hi there. Gave me a bit of a fright. Thought I was in here alone. I'm Al.
Al Worth, I came here to
Well,
find you.
Here I am. I'm sorry.
I was hoping you'd know who I am.
Funny you should ask. I was just reading an old tablet I found here. It described an
Right.
event about 2,000 years. Freed an imprisoned woman named Sentilla, who then murdered her captor, breaking some kind of ancient law. It said the attack caused golden statues to come alive, hunting down everyone in the city and turning them into gold. Apparently, the only person to survive was Sentilla, while the stranger disappeared in a flash of light.
Weird, that definitely wasn't me.
I didn't for one moment think it was, but the way you say that makes me wonder. I mean, how many people with that name could there be in this place? I don't understand how you could have been here 2,000 years ago.
When I first arrived here in the present day, I found a corpse hanging from a noose. A suicide note.
This is...
Written by a different version of you.
So you're saying, because a man from 2,000 years ago...
Right, now you're getting it. How have we got out of this
Maybe
place?
we can escape through the same aqueduct Sentilla used, if we can find it.
It's right here in the cistern. Follow me. I mean, do we have the key? Al. Oh, Al. Can I go behind the waterfall? No. Why didn't Al follow me out? Do we get to confront Karen? Oh, he's boarding it up.
I'm gonna pause here for a moment and make sure nobody else has ever lured into this temple.
Good idea.
Go on ahead. I'll be there soon.
Yeah, because I've been fantasizing about going back to confront Karen. I don't have my golden bow anymore. That's a shame. Well, she's still here. Hi.
You're back. But you're alone. Does that mean you didn't find Al?
Found him. He'll be here in a moment.
What a relief.
Why
Thank
did you
you
want me
so
to find
much.
him?
I was beginning to think you'd both become trapped in there. Why don't you tell me what you discovered while we wait?
Well, I discovered your real name is Karen. Or was it Kerty?
Ah, I see.
Whoa.
I thought you might. Well, now you know.
You don't have to do like
I
that.
suppose you have questions.
Who are you really? Wait, I thought we knew.
You can just call me Caron, if you like.
Yeah.
I am sorry I was not completely honest with you when we first met. I do not enjoy deceiving people. Believe me, I do not. But I have learned, from 5,000 years of experience, that most people find comfort in familiarity, in gradual change, and coming to see the truth in their own time.
What truth is that?
That you died, of course. You were dead when I brought you here.
Okay.
My role, as the servant of the god of the underworld, has always been to assist the chosen to cross the threshold from the land of the living to the land of the dead.
How did I die?
Usually, when people do not remember how they died, it is because they suffered a terrible trauma. Most souls would rather not remember. Ask yourself honestly, do you really want to know?
Yeah.
As you wish. You were murdered.
Oh.
You were exploring an old tomb when you discovered a cache of forgotten relics, including 2 silver coins of ancient origin.
Makes sense.
Unfortunately, as you emerged into daylight, you were set upon by 2 thieves. A nearby hiker saw the scuffle break out and leapt to your aid, trying to help you recover your bounty. You both fought bravely, but your assailants were armed, and you were not. There was nothing you or your ally could have done.
Who's the hiker?
He died instantly at the scene, and you followed a few hours later.
Is it Al?
That man's name was Al Worth. You were each in possession of a sacred coin, called Karen's opal by some. And so it was my duty to bring you here.
Okay, what's so special about these coins?
Perhaps you have heard the tales of the Greeks and Romans burying their dead with a coin in their mouths to pay the ferryman for passage across the river. Well, those stories contained a seed of truth, but not any coin would do. A long time ago, my master created 1,000 silver coins and had me distribute them across the world. My orders were simple. Whenever a person died in possession of a coin, I was to locate them and ferry them here.
Why?
That is a question you would have to ask him, if that were still possible, in light of the path you have chosen. I am just his servant, doing his bidding. Only now, I find myself bereft of purpose. You see, the coins on you and Al were the last of the 1,000 in existence. There is nobody else to ferry here. Nobody to keep you company. After 5,000 years, the underworld has finally run its course.
Can you return us to the land of the living? I'm guessing not.
I see no point in keeping you here.
Oh.
But I have to ask one thing. That you keep this to yourself.
Look! Here comes Al now. Al! It's so good to see you. You were gone so long I thought I'd never see you again.
Kinda lost track of time in there. You wouldn't believe what we found. The ruins of a long-forgotten city. And there was a tablet describing an event 2,000 years ago. Supposedly, the city was destroyed when a woman murdered a tyrant with the help of, well, my new friend here. I know how crazy that sounds.
Maybe not that crazy. That woman. I don't suppose her name was Sentilla?
How could you... What?
She left a tablet of her own. I stumbled across it while I was waiting here. I think she meant for you to read it. Here.
Really?
Take a look.
Okay.
I don't know what became of you, or if you'll ever read this.
Dear
But I
Jared.
want you to know that I will never forget you, or what you did for me. It pains me that so many dear friends were not so fortunate. Ulpius, Sentia, Lucretia, Horatius, Galerius, poor Dooley, and the others. But please understand, their blood is on my hands, not yours. I will live with the consequences of my actions, and all I can do is move forward, trying to show others the same compassion you showed me. I promise you that saving my life will not be for nothing. Sentilla.
Next page. No. Okay.
Sounds like you meant a lot to her. I'd love to hear your story, but first, you two look exhausted. Why don't you hop in my boat and rest while I ferry you back to civilization?
Sounds good to me.
And you? Are you ready to go home?
All right, Karen, ferry us home. So I got ending 2 of 4 just now. The one that got away. How many might have survived if you've confronted the god of the underworld? Oh my gosh. Okay, well, interesting. Let's go ahead and pop back in, if I can, please. Thank you. Continue as Jared. It's interesting. There's a little note for content creators to not show beyond the white hallway, but I'm like, what's the white hallway? Have I not been there yet? Okay, so I guess we leave Sentilla locked up. So we've basically done these two. I'm not really sure about asking Aquatia. Like, I think we just gotta go put the 4 plaques up. There's 2 other endings that we can get.
Salve.
Shut up. Sorry. I kind of feel like some of the
Salve,
what about
friend.
what about the whispers? The whispers don't give us any clues, do they? Cause like I haven't gotten anything really. The priestess. Okay. Great. Okay, now we can go in here. Enter the great temple. What's so great about it? Oh. What? Nurgle. Because that's the Sumerian version. Osiris is the Egyptian version. Hades is the Greek. Pluto is the Roman. So we say Nurgle. Wait, is that not right? Wait, is that not? Oh. Okay. Osiris. Hades. Oh, it's based on the decor. Sorry. Okay, so now we say Osiris. We gotta say the name based on the civilization. I was not understanding that. Okay. Pluto. Sorry, my bad, Hades. Wait, we already did Nurgle though. Okay, I don't understand. Whoa! Whoa! I was not expecting this. Man, I'm gonna go, we meet at last. I mean, should I save here? I've gotten the other ones, the other endings, so.
And here you are.
Got
Allow me
achievement.
to introduce myself. As you have already gathered, I've been known by many names. Nergal to the Sumerians, Osiris to the Egyptians, Hades to the Greeks, and Pluto to the Romans.
Yep.
But the one constant through it all has been my title, God of the Underworld. And I've been watching you with curiosity, mortal, ever since your arrival. You're unlike the others, aren't you? And what is more, you carry a weapon that was never intended for mortals to wield, and you do it so brazenly. But there will be time for your reckoning later. First, as a reward for undoing the desecration of my obelisk, I will allow you to satisfy your curiosity. Ask what you will.
Man, confronting the god of the underworld. This is giving me King's Quest 6 vibes. What's your story, dude?
My story is many thousands of years long. You will need to be more specific. What do you wish to know?
So you're a god? Why do you look and sound like a man?
My kin and I all adopted this form long ago, so that we might better understand and communicate with your kind. In time, we grew fond of the sensory delights it affords. Desire, joy, ecstasy, even rage and sorrow, while an acquired taste can be addictive.
Who's the woman on your left?
This is my beloved. Like me, she has been
Persephone.
known by
Yeah.
many names. Ereshkigal to the Sumerians, Isis to the Egyptians, Persephone to the Greeks, and Proserpina to the Romans. Or perhaps you might know her as the goddess of springtime, the cycle of life and renewal.
Yeah, of course.
Your gaze lingers too long.
Okay, who's that on your right?
That is my servant. You would have met by the river.
Oh,
though
Karen.
She wears many faces and goes by many names. Kumutubal to the Sumerians, Kirti to the Egyptians, Charon to the Greeks, and Charon to the Romans. Her role is to ferry souls between the mortal world and this
They didn't change that name,
to
interesting.
make their transition as seamless as possible. For that, she earned herself the infamous, if erroneous, moniker, the Ferryman. You will talk more later. For now, ask your questions.
So you're a god,
It
huh?
is a matter of perspective. God is a label I was given by you mortals, not one I gave myself. Your ancestors revered me because to them, my knowledge and technology made me incomprehensibly powerful, just as you might seem so to an insect. But despite all that, there are rules even I must obey.
May I see your true form?
No.
Yeah.
Long ago I swore to Proserpina that I would remain in this form for as long as we remained among your kind. I must honor that.
Okay. Let's talk about
As
something
you
else.
wish.
What is this place?
It has come to be known simply as the Underworld, and it exists because of a wager I made long ago.
Okay. What was the wager you made?
That is a long story, one that began over 3,000 years ago and continues to this day. You see, long ago my kin and I set out from our home on Elysium to search for other forms of life among the stars. We discovered your planet and witnessed your kind evolving from primates into something lawless and barbaric. You all but destroyed yourselves, your 2 short lives being extinguished by violence and ignorance and disease. Yet Proserpina saw raw potential in you, and persuaded the rest of us it would be squandered without our intervention and stewardship. So we revealed ourselves to your people in a place called Sumer. We offered guidance in agriculture, toolcraft, and law, and you called us gods. For a time you flourished, but soon you were too many for us to oversee. And as you spread from that cradle of civilization, we saw something disturbing. We had sown the seeds of dependency and confusion, and soon you returned to your old ways of violence and ignorance, this time in our name. My kin had seen enough, and gave up on your kind, condemning you as barbaric and chaotic, scarcely more than animals. We began preparations to return to Elysium, our home world, a utopia unspoilt by conflict and unimaginable in its beauty. But my Proserpina could not bear to abandon your kind without guidance, and knowing it would force the rest of us to leave her behind, she made an extraordinary sacrifice. She gave up her immortality to descend permanently to the ranks of humankind. And so she began her inescapable trajectory toward death. Horrified, I acted swiftly. I placed her in suspended animation in a deep frozen sleep to prevent age and sickness from claiming her. And then I pleaded with Proserpina's father, who the Romans called Jupiter, to bring her with us to Elysium. It was and is my hope that once there, we might one day learn to undo what she has done to herself. But he refused. I did everything I could to persuade him, but he would not relent. He would rigidly uphold his final pronouncement. Humans were unworthy of ascension to Elysium, and no exceptions would be made. But seeing that I was aggrieved, he proposed a wager, the terms of which were as follows. If even one human city could prove itself capable of living without sin for a single year, then Proserpina and all of humanity would be permitted to join us in Elysium. My part would be to remain behind, the last of my kind, to watch over you, without interfering, and to sit in silent judgment. And so my reward has been to languish here, enduring a 3,000-year winter, waiting for the day your kind proves itself worthy of her faith in you, so that I might take her with me to Elysium and unthaw my goddess of springtime. And here I am, after all this time, still waiting.
I see. How do you decide who comes here?
To ensure the wager was fair, it was important that my subjects were chosen at random. To this end, I had my servant distribute 1,000 tokens fashioned from silver, a rare element at the time, across all of Sumer. Whoever died while in possession of one of them would be located by my servant and ferried to this place, with no memory of how they arrived. As the tokens were discovered, they were traded, smelted, and fashioned into trinkets, and eventually coins, spreading to Egypt like seeds on the wind. Later, when they spread to Greece, they would come to be known as Charon's Obol, or as coins for the ferryman. Some
So how do
placed
people know
coins
Charon's
in the
name?
mouths of their dead, hoping they would awaken here, though they had no way of knowing which coins were fashioned from the original tokens. In fact, almost all of the tokens are accounted for. Only 2 remain. And so after this wave destroys itself, as it is destined to do, your kind will have squandered the last of its potential to ascend beyond this rock, and Proserpina's along with it.
No, not Proserpina. Who built this city?
As the first wave of your kind arrived from Sumer,
Okay.
I had them build a city in their own fashion,
Right.
so that they might be comfortable and recreate their lives here. I had them build the entrance as a vertical shaft leading to baths to cleanse them of the sins of their former lives and to prevent escape. I watched wave after wave of Sumerians arrive, and as their civilization declined over the centuries, they were replaced by Egyptians. Of course, believing themselves to be the superior civilization, the Egyptians promptly built over what had been built before, and made all the same mistakes. After another 1,000 years, the Greeks began to arrive, and then the Romans, and they all did the same thing. They built upon the underworlds of their predecessors, renamed their gods, and ensured their foundations were forgotten.
How did humans learn about the underworld?
It is a regrettable story. One of the first men who came to this place was a king of Sumer and a troublemaker. To be rid of him, I returned him to his people on the condition that my servant erased his memories of this place. But the erasure did not take completely. And he told stories of this place as if describing memories of a dream.
Yeah, I was wondering
His
about
tales
that.
were committed to writing, which came to be known as the Epic of Gilgamesh.
Oh,
His
man.
words were twisted and distorted over generations. Later, the Egyptians would adapt Sumer's stories of the underworld, making them wildly intricate and labyrinthine. Their Book of the Dead and Book of Gates bore less and less resemblance to this place in their priests' pursuit of profit. Then, when the Greeks began to arrive, they proved far more cunning. And in a series of incidents that will not be repeated, 5 of them escaped. A warrior named Heracles, 2 kings named Sisyphus and Theseus, a poet named Orpheus, and a Trojan named Aeneas.
Right.
They each told embellished tales of this place, how to get here, and how to escape. And so from Sumer to Egypt, Greece to Rome, your kind has always told each other stories about this place, though each story contained only a seed of truth.
Who are your kin? Other gods, right?
There were also gods who, like me, have been known by many names, but perhaps you knew them by their Roman names. Our leader, Jupiter, as well as Neptune, Saturn, Juno, Minerva, Mars, Venus, Apollo, Diana, Vulcan, Vesta, Ceres, and of course, my beloved Proserpina.
let's talk about something else.
Of course.
Are you responsible for the golden rule?
That is merely the name your people have given to it, but yes, it is my doing.
Why turn people into gold?
That is a story dating back to the very first wave. After the Sumerians finished building their city, the self-declared ruler threw a banquet to celebrate. Now this man was unmarried, and many women were vying to become his wife, a prestigious position of power and influence in a new world. Of all the women, 2 were particularly ambitious. Both were beautiful, and both arrived at the banquet wearing eye-catching dresses and painted faces, their hair woven in elaborate fashion. The first woman, recognizing that she would require an advantage to win the ruler's affection, draped herself in jewelry, ornate necklaces, bracelets, and rings fashioned from gold. Seeing this ostentatious display, the second woman grew envious, for she had no such jewelry at her disposal. She prayed aloud to any gods that would listen to cover her in gold, and when her prayer went unanswered, she took matters into her own hands. While the others indulged at the banquet, the second woman summoned the first for a discussion in a quiet place. She checked that nobody was watching, and pushed her rival from the top of the ziggurat, where she broke her neck on the rocks below. But I was watching, and I decided to answer her prayer. I took the golden bow left behind by Diana, and I shot that woman in the heart, covering her from head to toe in a layer of molten gold. And I left her to stand there, that she might serve as a grim reminder of what befalls those who sin in my domain. But that was not enough, for the entire city was tainted by her sin, and the wager could no longer be won. So I had no choice but to wipe the slate clean. I gilded them all, to make way for a new wave, and began the wager again. And to this day, each of them, and all who came after, line the halls of this city, inanimate but conscious, suspended in time with only their sight and hearing preserved, so they may bear witness to and lament the folly of your kind for eternity, as silent golden sentinels.
Right. What do you consider a sin?
I've always considered that the cornerstone of morality is the ability to determine right from wrong on one's own. No attempt to lay out rules like your Code of Hammurabi or your 12 Tables of the Roman Republic can ever cover all possible scenarios. This should come as no surprise to you, since the core principle has been expressed in many forms by many of your civilizations. The Egyptians made a rudimentary attempt with do to the doer to make him do. The Greeks refined it with avoid doing what you would blame others for doing. The Roman Stoics added, treat your inferior as you would wish your superior to treat you. Even the so-called cultists hiding among you often say, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It is the simplest of concepts, and each one of you is born with the faculties required to apply it to any situation. Yet none of the peoples who expressed this rule were able to uphold it. Curious, is it not?
Doesn't seem like you've been upholding it either.
Enough. You clearly know nothing.
Okay. I've seen some terrible things here that you didn't consider a sin. How could you let them
Do
happen?
you plan to speak in sweeping generalizations, or are you going to give me an example?
Debt bondage.
You speak of the moneylender. How is that inconsistent with the rule?
You wouldn't want to be trapped in a 30-year labor contract because of a loan.
And he would never have signed a contract pledging his labor for 30 years. All he did was enforce the terms of a contract signed voluntarily by others.
The whole concept of debt bondage, like slavery, is unethical. It's illegal under international law where I'm from.
Ignoring your irritating sense of moral superiority. This is interesting. I'm curious, how do people escape poverty where you're from?
Well, it depends. It's customary to take out a loan to buy a house, and in some places to pay for an education.
I see. And how long might it take such a person to repay their debt?
It depends. Typically decades. Sometimes their entire life.
I fail to see how your system of loans is significantly different to a debt bondsman signing over his labor for 30 years.
Well, it's more overt, definitely. You still have freedom. It's not the same thing.
Supposing you're right, and my law has been broken, and I should turn you all to gold immediately. Is that what you want?
No. Of course not. Never mind.
Now tell me, what other sins do you believe I have overlooked?
Abduction.
Abduction? You mean the magistrate imprisoning his daughter in the cistern, I take it?
Yes.
He did so because she sought to escape. A sin I take particularly seriously. Better that he stops her from escaping, albeit brutishly, than I have to wipe out this entire city to punish her. Wouldn't you agree?
I disagree.
Supposing you're right, and my law has been...
I'm right and you know it.
Then your desire to be right outweighs your desire to survive. You will make a fine statue.
Damn. I'm going to end this. Draw golden bow.
Do you really think you can wound me, a god, with that primitive weapon?
You may be immortal, but your beloved isn't.
How dare you threaten her? This ends now.
Oh no.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
I got the crown. Ah. What do I do with the fucking crown? No. It wouldn't let me move, by the way. It wouldn't let me move. That was very frustrating.
And here you are.
Ah, damn it.
Allow me. No. My story is your
Oh, wait, no.
But despite
Talk about something else.
that is merely the
Where did all these golden bows come from? I said bolden
when my
goes.
kin departed, they left behind many relics which I inherited. Consolation prize of sorts. The golden bow originally belonged to one of my kin, who the Romans called Diana. As my collection of golden statues grew, I chose the most ferocious among them, and equipped them each with a duplicate of her bow, and tasked them with hunting down the Forsaken at my behest. They became known simply as Furies.
Okay.
I've always considered no attempt. This should come as the Egypt, the Greek, the Roman, even it is yet.
Principle's not as easy to apply as it sounds.
For you, perhaps. Do you plan to speak in
Experiments on the golden
the
statues.
midwife in the palace? Yes. How is that inconsistent with the rule?
She wouldn't want to be experimented upon if she was
The
gilded.
rule is do unto others, meaning other people. Those statues are something else now. Bloodless shadows, mere shapes of their former selves. They are forsaken. What happens to them is no concern of mine.
Seems like an extremely literal interpretation of the rule.
Applying this rule always requires us to interpret the meaning of the words. A literal interpretation helps to minimize the ambiguities of your primitive language.
If our language is full of ambiguity, doesn't that make the rule inherently subjective and unreliable?
Supposing you're right, and my laws,
We keep coming back to this.
then your desire to be right, you will
Okay. Let's find out, shall we?
pathetic. The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Okay, so... What am I supposed to do here, dude? Oh, rewind time and show Pluto you have Proserpina's crown. What do you mean rewind time? So we escape, right? Oh, okay. Well, we go through the portal then. Pretty sick. Let's go. I'm going. I haven't even gotten shot one time. Ow. Okay, well, now I have, but... Oh. Damn. I guess I could have ziplined. Sentius, you idiot. He's like, I gotta open the portal right now. Sentius, how'd I beat you here? I had to come from like way further. Get in there. Yeah, be a good little doggy and make the portal for me. Okay. There we go. Do we have to have Galerius do all the stuff again? Okay, let's see. I may need to ask the philosopher for help here. Must we? I don't think we must.
Salve, friend.
Yeah, go ahead and do these things.
All right, let me.
I guess.
I'll go.
Goodbye. Okay. So I have Proserpina's crown, right? Let's see. I also have golden goose eggs. The crown worn by Proserpina. Okay, so now... I guess I can just go... show him that? I don't know. Go ahead and save. Because I'm pretty sure... You know, we started a new loop. Should be okay. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm not gonna say the rest of it. I'm loving it. It just sounded weird to not do that. Okay, so the plaques remain. That's very interesting. Okay, so here we would do Pluto. Okay. And then here we would do Hades. Here we would do, we're going like backwards in time. Got it. Here we do Osiris, and then last we would do Nurgle, because these are the Sumerians. Okay. Or Nergal, or why is it so futuristic here? Guess what? I have Proserpina's crown. So how's that gonna help us?
And here you are. Allow me to introduce myself.
Right.
No, and what is that there will be first.
So how do you not know this? See this? It's Proserpina's crown. Throw.
I would recognize that anywhere. And yet my beloved still
We gotta tell him about the
hers.
loop.
What is this? How did you come by it?
I took it from her after I killed her in another timeline.
You vile, despicable creature. Why would you do such a thing? And worse still, boast about it.
I don't want to kill her, but if you don't put it into the golden rule, I will do it again.
You have put me in an impossible position. If I refuse, you will murder her. And yet, if I agree, I will lose my wager and return to Elysium humiliated and alone.
That's the idea.
Perhaps you are cleverer than you appear, mortal. I do not see that I have a choice in this. Your treachery and savagery have opened my eyes like nothing I've witnessed in 3,000 years. And now you have shown me your species' true colors. And I see that Proserpina was a fool to have ever believed in you at all. This has gone on too long.
Ooh, I got an
It's
achievement.
time for me to let go of this
The
form
achievement's called Psycho.
of all of you. But know this. If I abandon the wage and leave for Elysium, neither she nor your kind may ever ascend.
Oh no. We just want to return to the world.
Very well. I will have Caron make arrangements to ferry the others. And as for you, be aware you will be separated from the rest.
Why?
Once this exodus begins, the events that brought you to this moment will never have taken place, and you will have created a paradox.
I see.
What will become of you is difficult to predict, but that is the risk you have taken by interfering in the natural flow of time. Now, are you ready?
I'm ready.
You had best pray our paths never cross again, mortal.
Heh. Okay, bye. Gotta talk to Al again. Al Worth?
Oh. Hi there. Gave me a bit of a fright. Thought it...
You gave me a bit of a fright.
Well...
Okay, let's see. We did that.
Oh, did that lady?
Adjourn.
I'm fairly certain you and I are the first people to set foot
Oh.
in this city for about 2,000 years. Fortunately for us, the last person in here was a Roman man named Galerius, who inscribed an account into a tablet. Apparently, there was a community of 20-something people trapped in here, and living in fear of a curse they called the Golden Rule. They believed that if even one person sinned, an unknown god would cast them all into gold, like the 1,000 people who'd lived here before them. Then, one day, just as Galerius had finished praying for a good harvest at the shrine of Proserpina, an oracle appeared and told him how to solve the ills of the city, like saving the life of a dying woman, foiling an assassination attempt,
I was the Oracle.
and so on. Meanwhile, the oracle walked up to the temple of the mysterious god, this one right here, and demanded an audience. And the doors just opened up to him. Nobody knows what went on in there, but Galerius wrote the oracle must have been more persuasive than Odysseus, because the next thing he knew, the ground shook and the voice of that god rang out over the city. The many have suffered long enough. Unfortunately, Galerius' account just sort of stops after that, leaving a lot of questions unanswered. What became of him and the other people who lived here? What happened to all the golden statues? And did this mysterious oracle single-handedly undo the curse that had terrorized people for hundreds of years?
Actually, that was me.
What? Oh, I see. For a moment there, I thought you were serious. Anyway, I think I found a way out through the aqueduct that brought water into the city. Follow me.
I'm right behind you. Can I follow? Oh. We don't actually have to go. We can just... Okay. So... Okay, now we return to the river once again. Is he boarding it up?
I'm gonna pause here for a moment and make sure nobody else has ever lured into this temple. You
Okay.
go on it.
Just want to see if he would say anything different. All right, let's go. Here we go. Talking to Karen again. Of course, Karen knows what I did. Uh-oh. You know, Karen's kind of bad, though. Maybe we can get together.
You're
You
back.
got nothing to do, right?
But you're alone.
No, I found him. He'll be here in a moment.
Why don't you tell me what you discovered?
Discover the ruins of an ancient underground city.
Really? Sounds amazing. And did you... Oh, look. Here he comes. Ow. It's so good to see you.
Kind of
Nice.
lost
Is
track
that-
of time in there. And there was a tablet describing an oracle who confronted a god and undid an ancient curse.
Sounds like quite a story. And I look forward to hearing all about it. But you two look exhausted. Why don't you hop in my boat and rest while I ferry you back to civilization?
Sounds
Okay.
good to me.
And you? Are you ready to go home?
All right, Karen, ferry us home. Okay, so that's... So what ending is this? 1 year later. Oh, I was about to say, it's... Oh. Galerius?
Hey, you
Oh,
made
it's
it.
Al.
It's
Never
great
mind.
to see you again. I read your book, and
He wouldn't be around
what
now.
the critics said about it. I guess they weren't ready for your theories about the underworld. Anyway, after everything you've been through, I thought you might appreciate some good news. So after we got back to the real world, I started doing some research into the people mentioned in Galerius's tablet, and I found something strange. I'm sorry I've been so cryptic. I've been dying to tell you. I just really wanted you to see this for yourself. Why don't you head on down there? I'll catch up with you at the other end.
Okay. Sure. Hang on, hang on, hang on.
You're finally here. Remember me?
Galerius, what are you
It's
doing
a
here?
crazy story. After you disappeared, Canon appeared and told us she was returning us to the world. Even gave us some coins to help us start our lives over. Only, for some reason, she returned us to your world instead of ours. Anyway, I know we only ever had that one conversation, and I wasn't even sure if you'd remember me, but I wanted to say thanks for freeing us from the underworld and giving us a second chance at life.
What are you doing? Well, you're with Equitia now.
I know. I can't believe my luck either. But we're engaged and living together. We're planning to get married next spring. If you're going to be around, we'd love to see you there.
I'd love that. Count me in. What are you doing with yourself these days?
I used Karen's gift to buy a farm in Umbria. Got a villa on it too, with enough room for Dooley, of course. It's hard
course.
work, but I sleep soundly every night. I'm finally my own man, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
Good to see you
Of
again.
course, there's a whole museum full of people waiting for a chance to thank you, so you better keep moving. We'll speak again soon, my friend.
Wow. I got an achievement. Assemble as many people as possible in the museum.
Oh, hello.
Hi, Dooley.
Hello. I'm Dooley.
I remember who you are.
Galerius said you're very nice and a big helper. Thank you for getting us out of the bad place. I didn't like it.
So you never found your treasure.
Treasure? Oh, I forgot about that. I like my box now. Galerius got me a box that tells stories. It's my favourite thing.
I'm glad you're happy. What are you doing with yourself?
I live at Galerius and Equitia's house. They look after me now and help me remember when I forget things, like brushing my teeth.
Good to see you
Bye-bye.
again.
There he is.
Wow. Equitia. Damn.
You're here. It's lovely to finally meet you. Galerius told me all about you.
So I guess the dialogue here is different if you do it on a loop where you like talk to everybody and stuff.
So, you're the hero who somehow vanquished the last of the Roman gods. As I'm a priestess, you realize you've put me out of work. I'm just teasing. Actually, and it still feels a little sacrilegious to say this, I'm finding life after religion quite enjoyable.
How's Livia?
Oh, it's sweet of you to ask. She recovered nicely. In fact, she's here somewhere, if you'd like to ask her yourself.
I'll do that. What are you doing with yourself?
Galerius and I are engaged and expecting.
He didn't mention
We've just
that.
bought a lovely villa in the countryside with room for a large family, and Dooley too, of course. It feels
Wow.
like the world has just opened up for us. There's so much to learn, and so many more possibilities for our children than we ever imagined. We're just so thankful for what you did for us, for all of us.
Good to see you again.
See you at the wedding, I hope.
Yeah, obviously. Okay. Wow, we've got so many people to talk to.
Hey. Hi there, I'm Horatius.
Oh, right. Hi,
I
Horatius.
understand we have you to thank for giving us a second chance at life, and reuniting Sentilla with us as well. So, thank you.
Sorry you never got to see your girl again.
Ah, you remembered that. Thank you. I grieved for a time, but that's done. In the words of Epictetus, as those who rode behind triumphant generals remind them they are mortal, remind yourself, your precious one, isn't one of your possessions, but something given for now, not forever.
Well said.
Thanks.
I'm glad you're coping. What happened to your buddy Domitius?
He's not my... Oh, I see what you did there. Good one. He had more trouble adapting than most. He got himself disqualified from the UFC, so he started some kind of underground blood sport tournament, like we had in Rome. Suppose it appealed to people's baser instincts. And they say he made some good coin, killing a bunch of men like that. But his luck finally ran out, and his life along with it. You know what they say. Live by the sword, die by the sword.
Sounds like he got what he deserved.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. What are you doing with yourself?
I'm living up north and studying in the military academy in Modena. I'm going to be an officer one day. The world's changed a lot. But some things stay the same. Would you believe we're still studying military tactics from my time? Alexander the Great, Caesar, Hannibal Barca. Still, I have to keep challenging myself to let go of old ways of thinking and embrace the new. As Seneca wrote, the ones who pioneered our paths aren't our masters, but our guides.
I imagine you're insufferable to be around.
And you. Farewell.
Always quoting ancient authors. Damn. Hi, Cynthia.
I take it you're the Oracle. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, I'm not the barbarian anymore.
Actually, I changed my name to Cynthia. I didn't want to be associated with Sentius after what happened.
I guess it all came out.
I'm not sure if you heard, but after you drove Pluto off, Proserpina emerged from the Great Temple. She knew right away what none of us had figured out about that psychopath. He'd been keeping my little sister locked up in the upper cistern all that time. But he's been dealt with. He's... you know what? The important thing is, we'll never see him again.
So he's not here. Good. What happened to Sentius?
He's still there, all alone. The last golden statue in the underworld. Trapped in a metal shell, slowly losing his mind until the end of time.
Oh my god.
Eternal torment. Just what he deserves, if you ask me.
I mean, I don't know if anybody deserves eternal torment, but whatever. I don't care. What are you doing with yourselves these days?
Anything I want. I'm a woman of means in a vast new world. I can go wherever and do whatever I please. Of course, I mostly just stay in my villa and have my servant Alexa summon things for me.
Your
because
servant
it's just
Alexa?
awful out there. Barbarians everywhere.
Good to see you.
You too. See you around.
What happened to me being a barbarian? Now all of a sudden you're fine with talking to me. Hi, Yulia.
You're the Oracle, right?
Yep. Jaren
Oh,
is
of
fine.
course. Sorry. And I never got a chance to thank you for telling Galerius how to save my life.
Oh, that got out, did it?
Of course, getting me and all of us out of a terrible situation.
What happened to Malleolus and Claudia?
Last I heard, Malleolus kept insisting he was the last rightful ruler of the Roman Empire.
Oh, good, we don't have to deal with
And
them.
wound up being committed to a psychiatric hospital. As for Claudia, she was always so viciously unhappy. Someone said she'd blown all her money on wine, trying to drink herself back to the underworld. After the horrific way they treated Ulpius and me, I can't help feeling a sense of... what's that German word? Schadenfreude?
Yep. I think you're allowed to feel that way.
Thank you. You're very kind.
Yeah. What happened to Aurelia?
Someone told me she was boasting about getting her claws into some rich prince.
No.
And how she was going to be living the high life from now on.
An
Even
email
in your time,
scam?
life still isn't fair. Apparently,
dude.
he'd proposed before they'd even met.
Yep.
And last I heard, she'd bought herself a first-class one-way ticket to join him in some exotic place called... what was it? Nigeria?
Yep.
Some people have all the luck.
A Nigerian prince. As the Oracle, I foresee terrible disappointment in her future.
Really? Huh. I feel better already. Thank you.
Wow, she fell for an email scam. Of course she did. What are you doing with yourself
Oh, I
these
barely
days?
recognize myself. I'm living in a house share in London with my wonderful girlfriend.
Right.
And I'm studying English at university. Eventually, I want to travel the world and write about it. Turns out, it's about 30 times bigger than the Roman Empire ever was.
It's
Did you
true.
know there are entire continents Rome never knew existed? And you can travel almost anywhere in an aircraft, which is rather like flying on a Pegasus, but much more comfortable.
Ow.
Oh, sorry,
Oh,
you
I hurt my
already
back.
know all that, of course. I'm
By
just
stretching.
so excited.
I'm old.
There's so much to see and learn and write about.
Nah, I didn't hurt it. It just kind of hurt for a moment. Seeing the world through fresh eyes sounds wonderful.
I have noticed people from your time have no idea how fortunate they are. I hope to change that. One day.
Good to see ya.
You too. If you're ever in London, let me know. We can go to bars and drink wine and listen to the stories of the 9 million people who live there.
Yeah, I know. Take you
I
up on
hope
that.
so.
Farewell. Okay, how many more people do we have to talk to? We can talk to Lucretia. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's a lot of people. I only ask because I have to go in a moment.
Hey.
Yeah, we already talked to Cynthia.
Hello.
You are here. It's nice to finally meet you.
Hey, Lucretia.
Lucy is fine. I'm making an effort to blend in, as you can see. We are all trying to keep a low profile. If the world knew we died 2,000 years ago and were suddenly brought back to life 12 months ago, they'd never leave us alone. Speaking of which, I wanted to say thank you in person. I'd say the gods smile on you, but I hear you drove the last of them off. So,
Man. What are you doing with yourself
I'm
these
studying
days?
to get into medical school. As much as I resented the responsibility of keeping everyone in the city alive, when it ended, I realized I missed it. So I guess I'll just keep saving the world, if begrudgingly, one patient at a time.
Good to see
You
you.
too. Don't be a stranger.
Hey.
Okay. I've already... Cynthia, what is going on? Why do you want to talk to me so bad? Georges. The hermit philosopher's here. No way.
I take it you're the oracle everybody's talking about. It's a pleasure to finally meet you.
We met before, though I wouldn't expect you to remember
We
it.
have. I'm sorry, I don't remember. In any case, I'm Philip. I never
Philip?
thought I'd leave that cave, let alone the city. And now I'm living in the 21st century. What a time to be alive.
What's your
And it
last name?
seems I have your catabasis to thank for it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I'm working as a consultant to the Faculty of Classics at Cambridge University.
Oh, that makes sense.
Helping fill the odd gap in their knowledge. Not that I need the money, but I do love being around enlightened minds again.
Good to see
My
you.
sincere thanks once again.
Philip. Who could it be in reference to, I wonder?
You're the one we've been waiting for. I'm Fabia.
Yep. Hi.
I wanted to say thanks for sending Galerius to save my life. I don't know how you knew, but I would have been crushed by that shrine for sure.
Yeah. You're welcome.
I'm just so happy to be here with you and everyone together again, even if it's just for one more night.
What are you doing with
Well,
yourself?
It's not like I have to work with all the silver Karen gave me, so I just do what makes me happy.
Oh,
Mostly
wow.
that means baking for my friends and looking at memes while binging TV shows in yoga pants.
What?
What a time to be alive.
Seriously. Glad you're happy.
Thank you. I really am.
Good to see
you
you.
too.
Georges.
Greetings. You must be the legendary oracle. It is a sincere privilege to finally make your acquaintance. I am Georgius. I am told we have you to thank for freeing us from Hades, and for that I am most grateful.
What are you doing with
I am
yourself these
reacquainting
days?
myself with Greece. It has changed so much over the last 2,000 years, I barely recognize it. This is at once heartbreaking and thrilling. Perhaps one day, once I have seen all of this new Greece and sampled her delights, I will settle down in Santorini in a villa overlooking the Azure Aegean Sea. I hope you will join me there and regale me with the story of how you faced off against the fearsome god of the underworld and won.
Consider me there.
You
See ya.
too, my friend.
No, Decius is
soiree,
here?
innit?
Oh my god.
Good evening.
Olivia!
Greetings.
Oh my god. Good to see you looking
Thank
well.
you for your kind words and for liberating us all.
Hello there.
In all the time I
I'm
was
talking
in
to
the
Olivia right
underworld,
now.
I never once imagined that I might end up in a place so much like Elysium.
What are you doing with yourself?
I'm recovering. Octavia was kind enough to let me stay with her for a while, at least until I'm well enough to be independent again.
Good to see you.
And you. Farewell, friend.
Octavia. Now I can talk to you.
hello. It's lovely to meet you. I've heard so much about you.
Yeah. Nice to see you.
I'm thankful that you're here. I was sure the person who drove off the last pagan god would have more important things to do than visit the likes of us. But thank you for coming and for saving our lives. What you did was extraordinary, and I'll never forget it.
You know, you guys learned English very quickly.
I'm living in Rome again, in a charming little flat by the Tiber. Not far from my old place. Oh, and I'm training to be a crisis counselor. After you sent Galerius to persuade Ulpius not to take his own life, I was inspired. I just want to spend the rest of my life helping people, like you helped him. Thank you. That means a lot.
Good to see you.
Oh, and I hope this isn't too forward, but some of us are going out for a drink after this, if you'd like to join us.
I'm getting invited to everything.
Wonderful.
Sounds good.
I'll see you soon.
Here comes the dating sim part of oh my gosh, part of the game. We gotta get Octavia's social link up.
It is an honor to finally meet you, Oracle.
Yeah.
You know my name?
I do.
Of course. You are an Oracle. You know many things. I too would like to offer my thanks for releasing us from that place and for your role in bringing us here. This world is truly wondrous.
I'm surprised you think so.
For a time, I returned to Alexandria, but they have no need of another fisherman, and I came to see there is nothing for me there. Instead, I have decided to follow the custom of your youths and backpack the world. It is a great adventure, and I have met many people from many cultures. I spent the first 25 years of my life avoiding the 42 sins that would deny me access to the afterlife. Now, I think it is time I had some fun.
Sounds like you've earned it.
Indeed. Thank you, Oracle.
See ya. Okay, I guess we just got these guys left. Rufus and Virgil. Wait, are you two?
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
I go by Rufus now. New start, new name. Oh, and thanks, by the way, for what you did. Sorry, I'm no good with the mushy stuff.
That's fine. Turns out you were right, the statues really were watching us.
Good to know.
Okay.
Anyway, it was good practice for the new world. Security cameras and smartphones everywhere. Got to stay vigilant.
That is unfortunately true. What are you doing with yourself these days?
I live with Virgil in Rotterdam, not far from where he grew up. It's very modern. Destroyed in the war, and it rebuilt itself. Good place for a fresh start. Haven't decided what I'm going to do with my life yet. One adjustment at a time. You too. Look us up next time you're in the Netherlands. We're grateful.
Yeah. Nice.
It's so nice to finally meet you. I've heard so much about you.
Good to see you.
I wanted to thank you personally for getting us out of there. And for helping Rufus come to terms with himself. He may come off a little gruff, but once you get past that, he's a lovely fellow. I'm studying to be an architect again, and living with Rufus in our beautiful flat in Rotterdam. Just down the river from Nijmegen, where I grew up. Of course, it's improved immensely since I was there last. gleaming futuristic buildings and clean streets full of educated, accepting people. You natives of the 21st century have no idea how fortunate you are.
Good to see you again.
Too. As Rufus said in his own laconic way, if you're ever in the Netherlands, we'd love to show you around. It's the least we could do.
Take you up on that, for sure.
Hello there.
Oh, Sentilla. I didn't know I was... Okay.
Oh, I go by Gabriella now. I didn't want to be reminded of that monster every time I heard my own name. After you drove Pluto off, Proserpina came and released me, and that monster got what was coming to him.
I heard. Sounds like he got what he deserved. What are you doing with yourself these days?
I'm living with Ulpius on a little vineyard in Umbria.
Oh, right. You guys had a thing. I completely forgot.
Even more wonderful than I dreamed it would be. I'm so grateful to you for making sure he's still with us. If you're ever passing through the region, I hope you'll come and visit us. You can try some of our very own wine.
Might just do that.
Thanks.
Good to see ya.
You too.
Okay, yeah. All right, Ulpius, you're the last person.
It's nice to finally put a face to the name. I'm Ulpius.
Yeah, so you kept the name Ulpius.
I understand I have you to thank for sending Galerius to save my life. The way you just showed up out of the blue and stopped me from making a terrible mistake, I'll be forever in your debt.
That's right. What are you doing with yourself?
I'm living with Gabriella in Umbria. We finally bought the little vineyard we always dreamed of. It'll be a little while before we know what we're doing, but every day I look at her and this extraordinary new world with all its beauty, and I think, what if I'd given up hope and missed out on all of this? So
Right.
we're living each day to the fullest. And we end them all the same way, sitting together on our terrace with a glass of our wine, which the locals say is almost drinkable now, and watching the sunset over the rolling hillside. And I couldn't be happier.
I mean, that is a good thing.
Thank you.
It's a nice life. So
I wouldn't be here without you.
Damn straight. Good
You
to see
too.
ya. All right. Well, I think we've talked to everybody. We didn't talk to Decius, but yeah, we've talked to everybody. Oh. Nice. So I guess now we're gonna talk to Al.
There you are. I hope you enjoyed that.
It was
now,
great.
There's one more person I wanted to introduce you to. I think you know her.
Karen? Oh wait, Proserpina.
Sorry if I frightened you. Just a little joke I've been saving for a long, long time.
Oh my god, okay. I recognize that voice.
Allow me to introduce myself properly. I am Proserpina, former goddess of the cycle of life and renewal, and now a regular mortal. I wanted to meet you in person, and thank you for freeing all these people, and me. I hate to think what would have happened to us without your intervention.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Indeed.
I saw it. It
Suffice
was
it
not
to
good.
say that while Pluto was controlling the eyes and ears of each golden statue, I was able to control their tongues and whisper to you when he was distracted. I am sorry my messages were so cryptic. There were only ever brief windows in which I could speak to you without being detected.
You did what you could. You created the time loop?
I did. I may have given up my immortality, but I still retain my gifts as the goddess of the cycle of life and renewal. After witnessing Pluto punish countless poor souls over thousands of years, I knew this generation, the final wave, would not survive. So I tried to give them a way to buy more time. A second chance. Rather, as many second chances as they needed to avoid his wrath.
It became a Pluto.
I don't know what happened to him. I haven't heard from him, and I rather hope it stays that way.
It became of Karen.
Oh, she inherited dominion over the underworld. Last time we spoke, she was working on a new world of some kind. She wouldn't say what it was, but I'd be surprised if you don't run into her again.
Sequel baiting?
I imagine we all will. One day.
It's nice meeting you.
And you. Although it feels like I've known you forever. Oh, and one last thing. Do you remember all those golden statues?
No way. Are they over
the city?
Are they down there? Are they down there?
Good, because they remember you. Well done, my friend. Of all the heroes who ever journeyed to the underworld and returned, none came close to achieving what you did. Hercules, Orpheus, Theseus, and Aeneas would be proud.
Is that a statue of me? That's crazy. All right, so that was ending 4 of 4. What's ending 3? I'm not gonna get it at this point. I got the good one. That's clearly the good one. All right, well, regrettably, I don't have a ton of time to talk about the game, but like, I clearly enjoyed it. I'll give my, you know, what do you call it? Broad strokes opinions, I guess. We'll talk about more on the podcast. Spine Chill episode 49. Yeah, it was good. It was like, I wasn't expecting it to be so visual novel. It was pretty much a visual novel. I mean, there was some like, there was a bit of like action gameplay, like when you're in the palace with the golden bow, or, you know, when the statues come to life and things like that. But mostly it's dialogue. You know, this is like an adventure game at its core, really. But yeah, I mean, you know, you're moving around in 3D space, so it's not like most visual novels. It is kind of like more action-oriented visual novels like Danganronpa. Actually, in fact, this game is kind of similar to Danganronpa in a lot of different ways. You know, there's a mastermind. There's you know, a bunch of people trapped in one place, and their lives are at stake. They have to figure out, you know, who's behind it. So it was kind of neat. I liked all the history and stuff. Here, I'll go over here so I'm not covering them up. But yeah, considering basically 3 developers, a bunch of contractors, and a bunch of voice actors here, very impressive, especially since it started as a Skyrim mod, which you can definitely tell every time it zooms in on someone's face, right? But yeah, pretty cool game. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. It's weird. I think the Steam page labels it as an RPG, but there's like, I don't know, that's a very loose definition of the term. I'll have to check and see if that's what it's called, because yeah, like I said, it's an adventure game. It has most in common with a visual novel, like I said, because there's just so much dialogue, so much time spent on screen where you're talking to people. But I liked the different events, and I liked how you had to solve them, and that there was kind of a roguelike element where, like, each time you went through a loop, you could use what you learned to tell Galerius to, like, go take care of the thing, so you didn't have to do the same thing over and over again. Otherwise, that would get really repetitive, obviously. So it was good they found a solution to that. But yeah, I had a good time. I mean, I enjoyed the story. Figuring out that Karen equals Charon or whatever, that was very illuminating. I think it didn't click for me at first because I've always pronounced it as Sharon, just out of, you know, habit, I guess. When I was a kid, I saw it and I pronounced it as Sharon when I was reading it. And so that's just what it is in my head. But yeah, pronounced Charon, I guess. I liked all the history. It was interesting to, you know, learn about like the Sumerians, the Egyptians, the Greeks and the Romans, and how they basically, you know, all built on top of each other and stole the predecessors, you know, roster of gods and mythology and stuff. I'll have to look into that to see. I mean, I assume that, you know, they did a lot of research with this and that was very, you know, accurate to reality. But, you know, it's a work of fiction, so there may have been some embellishment. I don't know. I'll just have to look into it for myself. But, yeah, it was a cool game, actually, and I had a good time with it. You know, with that said, I didn't find ending 3. That's okay, though. I'm not really... it kind of defeats the purpose for me a little bit to, like, get all the endings. So, I know I've done it before, but I don't really feel compelled to do it this time. But yeah, I had a good time, and let me know what you guys thought about this game, about the Forgotten City, and I'll see you guys in the next playthrough. I don't know what it meant, by the way, with this, the white hallway. Content creators. But what was the white hallway? I don't know. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Think critically.